From conflict resolution to implementing the Sustainable Development Goals to responding to a global pandemic, the member states of the United Nations discuss how to respond to these issues on a daily basis. But what about children? How are their rights and their voices getting space and attention in this plethora of complex global issues? In January 2015, a few member states came together with the purpose of creating an advocacy group within the UN to make sure that children and young people were front and center in the negotiations process for the SDGs.
Well, there are lots of groups of friends in the UN system. They're successful if they raise awareness of an issue and bring countries together to do things about it. And I think the group of friends has succeeded on those criteria. We have a platform which we use to uphold and promote respect for children's rights here at the United Nations through coordinated diplomatic action.
We're particularly pleased that since we chaired the first meeting of the group in 2015, the group has grown and come a long way in consolidating a group of countries, joining efforts for the promotion of the well-being of children as we work to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
So if we want to create a truly sustainable world, we must focus on advancing the rights of children and young people in our efforts to achieve the SDGs.
Over the past 5 years, the group of friends has achieved much to be proud of. Among its major achievements were the issuance of a joint statement on protecting children in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, strengthening the language on child's rights and child's voices in the outcome documents of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Global Compact for Migration, as well as the commemoration of the 30th anniversary of the Convention of the Rights of the Child, of which child participation was the centerpiece.
It's the adoption of a declaration on COVID in children, which was, I think, a very important moment. It has been supported by 172 member states.
The members of the group of friends have also worked tirelessly to ensure children are seen as the key partners and stakeholders in achieving the SDGs. One of the big shifts came in the final text of the 2030 Agenda, where children were importantly recognized as agents of change.
The meaningful participation of children and youth is indispensable for the continued transformation of public institutions, such as governments and United Nations, in response to the needs of the times. Children and youth should have more opportunities to experience what matters in the world and exchange their opinions. Their voices should be heard in a more institutionalized way.
The members of the group of friends all share a belief that empowerment and involvement of children and youth in policy discussions and implementation processes is critical.
When I was growing up, it was never my perception that as a young person or as a child, I could get the issues that impact me and that I care about into the mainstream in terms of influencing government policy. And that's one of the things that I'm actually most proud of young people for. That they're not passive, that they are actually more engaged than I have ever seen in my lifetime.
We have to do more, and we can do more in order to ensure that children and young people come more often to the United Nations, express themselves, tell us personally what they need. So, I mean, really, we have to empower them not only on paper, we have to give them the chance, to give them the opportunity to become agents of change.
The group of friends was also among the first to step up their efforts to protect children in the face of the unprecedented challenge of the COVID-19 global pandemic.
COVID-19 has caused a serious human security crisis. Its socio-economic impacts are enormous, and it has struck the most vulnerable segments of society. The pandemic has been especially hard on children.
We've seen school closures around the globe. We need to reimagine collectively our approach to education and put children at the heart of global efforts to build back better our societies.
Education is the foundation of our future. So I think it's even during the lockdowns, the innovative measures must be taken and necessary support must be provided to ensure education for all.
Children are the future of our societies. We must invest more in them. This investment will always pay for better into the global development process.
UNICEF, child-focused NGOs, and we the children and youth recognize and greatly appreciate the work of the Group of Friends of Children and the SDGs. We are excited for all the group has achieved in the last 5 years and what can be done together over the next 5 and beyond.
It means a lot to all young people and children, but especially the furthest behind and most often forgotten, like young people living in alternative care system, to know you are fighting for the protection and rights of today's and tomorrow's children. And I hope every day you have in mind how impactful your work is in our daily life. So thank you very much.
You've changed the way that leaders and decision makers see and respond to children's needs. You've spoken out strongly, swiftly, and publicly on the need to protect all children, especially the most vulnerable. And you've always welcomed children themselves to address your group and bring forward their hopes, dreams, and concerns about the future. UNICEF is deeply honored to be working with this group.
The SDGs and the children we serve are the greatest cause we can fight for. Thank you for your service. Let's do this together.